Good morning, children. I hope you have seen the previous video of the Prime Minister, though I have given many videos as well on the Prime Minister chapter. And I hope so you people have understood by now how the Prime Minister elected. He is elected by the public and appointed by the President. And I've already told you, I've already explained you in the Google Meet that there is a vast difference between the election and the appointment. He has been elected by the public through universal adult franchise, and he is being appointed by the President. Right, children? He formed his party in the Lok Sabha and he formed Council of Ministry. His Council of Ministry has been categorized into three parts, children. The very first category, Cabinet Minister, second category, Ministry of State, and the third category, Deputy Minister. Among them, the Cabinet Minister is the brain, and they are the ones within the Council of Ministry who works, who attend the meeting, and they are 25 in number yet influential. They are being given portfolio like defense, railway, foreign affairs, right? And they are enjoying these portfolio. These portfolios are being distributed by the PM, and the Council of Ministry is 15% of the total strength of Lok Sabha. Among them, cabinet ministers are 25 in number, and the other ministers that Minister of State and Deputy Minister, they are just assisting. When the meeting is being called, it is only the cabinet minister who attend the meeting. They are the ones who decide the agenda along with the coordination of the prime minister. So these many things I have already explained in the previous videos. Many more things are still left, and I'll explain more points regarding the prime minister, children. So let's start. So now you have already understood what is the cabinet system. Till now we have only understood that PM is the head of the nation, and in reality he works. But after going through the whole chapter, children, we come to know that behind the prime minister's smooth functions and the work and the efficient work, there is a brain of cabinet minister. They are the main members, and they are the ones who give advices, who prepares the budget, who prepares the bill, who prepares the president's address, right, the ordinances and everything. The whole work is being done by the cabinet minister, which I have already explained in the previous video under the functions of the Council of Minister, children, right? So here again we are revising everything regarding the cabinet system so that it will be more clear, children. So let's see the first point. President is the constitutional head of the state. The very first thing, children, why I am mentioning president again, because the Council of Minister is being formed by the advice of the prime minister in recommendation with the president, children, and that means the whole Council of Ministry has to be responsible to the PM as well as to the president. Among the Council of Ministry, the main ministers are cabinet ministers, children, and cabinet ministers have to secure the pleasure of the president, right, children? Now everyone knows that PM along with his council is the main executive heads, right, children? They are the ones who run the country, children. But alongside the president is the constitutional head. He is the nominal head. He represents them. He is the head of the constitution, right, children? And obviously he is a nominal head, though you cannot call him the most powerful person, but he is also exercising his power, exercising his discretion regarding many things, right? He can refuse the assent to the ordinary bill other than money bill, though he cannot say no to money bill, but he can say no, he can refuse the ordinary bill, children. This we already know. This is discretionary power. He can interfere in the election of the coalition government, children, when two or more majority forms the party in the Lok Sabha, and among them they elect the head as PM. Then at that time, who is going to interfere, who is going to intervene in all these things? Obviously the president. It is his discretionary power, children, right? Next, now leadership of the prime minister. The main part of cabinet ministry is the leadership of PM, children. Whatever cabinet ministers have prepared the agenda, they maintain the policies. Basically it is a policy making body, the cabinet minister, children. They determine the policies, they formulate the policies, they present the policies, they discuss along with the PM. So obviously everything they are being discussing, and PM is the one who represents everything. So in presence of the public, what public is seeing? The prime minister. But behind the PM, who is working, who is advising him, who is the brain of the PM? It is the cabinet minister, children. So alongside the cabinet minister, the leadership of the prime minister is really very important. Under his leadership, he convenes ministry, he convenes council of ministry, right? So that they can coordinate with the prime minister. They can swim and sing together, children. They have to take the decisions together, because they knew this thing, one thing, they knew this, the minus point of their governance is that the opposition party can pass the no confidence motion, and once this motion is being passed, children, the ministry has to resign. The PM has to resign, along with him the whole ministry has to resign. That means the house is dissolved, children. Now, next, harmonious cooperation between the executive and legislative branches of the government. Children, I already explained you that democracy has three organs, children. The democratic government in India has three organs: legislative, executive, and judiciary. Try to understand this point, children. The legislative is the parliament that makes law, the executive that implement and execute the law, and the judiciary is the court. Right. So here they try to say that there has to be the coordination among the legislative, that is the parliament, and the executive, that the parliamentary ministers, because the ministers are the part of the parliament and they have to maintain the harmonious coordination among each other. Right. They have to listen to each other because they are the part. Parliament cannot work without the ministers, and ministers obviously they have to be the part of the parliament, children. So ministers over here, they are the executive part, they are the ones who execute the laws made by the parliament, and parliament is the one who makes law, who discusses the proposals, and later on those proposals becomes the bill, right? And these bills changes into act after signature of the president. So the process is being done in the parliament, first being discussed in the Lok Sabha, then in the Rajya Sabha, and vice versa. Right. In case of money bill, it has to be originated in Lok Sabha first. I've already explained you in the previous video, and then it moves to Rajya Sabha for recommendation. And in case of the ordinary bill, it can originate in either house, be it in Lok Sabha or in Rajya Sabha, children. So harmonious relationship has to be maintained among legislative and executive, so that the government can work efficiently, children. Over here, let me tell you one thing: the court has to be separated, the judiciary has to be separated, because they cannot influence judiciary or the court. Right, children? The judiciary needs to be separated, but there has to be an effective coordination among the legislative wing and the executive wing. Legislative wing means the parliament, both parliament, central parliament or union parliament, and the state parliament and its members, children: prime ministers, presidents, and state members, CMs, governors, and other state legislative assembly members, children. There has to be a proper coordination, children. Right. Next, collective responsibility. Now they all are collective responsible, children. These council of ministers have to be collective responsible, then only they can survive in the Lok Sabha, children. They are collective responsible to the house, that means the Lok Sabha. They are collective responsible for their conduct to the prime minister, because the opposition party is there, they are waiting, and they can very easily pass the no confidence motion against them, children. Right. Then they have a collective responsible for the president, children, to the president actually. They have to enjoy the pleasure of the president, and till then they can remain in the house. Right, children? And they have to convince the public as well for their conducts, for their policies and programs, children. I hope you will have understood the salient features of the cabinet system, children. Now, ministerial responsibility, children. So ministerial responsibility is being divided into two, children: collective responsibility. Ministerial means the council of ministers are responsible in to what extent, children? First they are collective responsible, right? And next they are individual responsible as well, children. So let's see how they are collective responsible. Under Article 75 of the Constitution, the council of ministers shall be collectively responsible to the house of the people. Members of the cabinet swim and sing together. When a decision has been taken by the cabinet, every minister has to stand by it without hesitation. So already explained you, children, the collective responsibility point, that they all are collective responsible. Who? The council of ministers, children. I'm not talking about the whole members of the Lok Sabha, children. Right now the main government is the prime ministerial government, children, and the prime minister have formed the council. So they have to work in coordination at any cost, otherwise their survival would be tough, because they are the main government, and against the main government there are many enemies as well as the opposition parties. Who is ever ready to pass the no confidence motion the moment they lose the trust in the house, children? Right. Next, now the no confidence motion, again I'm repeating, children, because again no confidence motion is coming, children. Again, it expresses want of confidence. They wanted the confidence of the government, children. Who wanted? The opposition party, the other members who are not in majority. Though they win the elections, they are the representatives of their public, right children? They simply covered up the seats and they represent in the Lok Sabha, but they couldn't able to gather the majority to become the PM, children. On the next hand, we have the government, the main government, that is the Prime Minister's government, right children? The head of that government is the Prime Minister, and he has formed his Council of Ministry, children, right? Next, now it is generally moved by leader of opposition. So who has this confidence now? Who has this weapon? The leader of opposition. On conclusion of the debate, first debate will be there, right? In the debate, children, the opposition party may ask various questions from the government have to save themselves, government have to be ready for their questions, children. And the way they hesitate, the moment they show the lack of confidence in them, children, then definitely they would be in trouble, children. Who was in trouble? The main government, children, right? The speaker put the motion to vote. After that, the speaker of the Lok Sabha put all these things. Motion means the no confidence motion to vote, right children? If the no confidence motion, the votes are in favor of no confidence motion, then definitely the Prime Minister has to resign. And if the votes are in favor of the main government, then definitely no confidence motion cannot be passed in the House, children, right? And after that, if the motion is passed, the ministry has to resign. That means the whole house, which house, the Lok Sabha, is dissolved and the fresh elections has to be taken place, children. Now, individual responsibility. Let's see what is the individual responsibility. Ministers shall be individually responsible to the president. Now, individually also, children, for their conducts, right? Because they are being, representatives of their constituency, of the area. Because in that, from that area, the people had voted to them, right? They are the, they are the ones who have to, take the needs of their public in the house, children. They have to fight for the needs of the people. That's why the public has voted for them, right? So they are individually responsible for their conduct as well. They are liable to be dismissed by the president for their undesirable activity. If suppose they are not doing proper, if they are not working properly, the president can dismiss these minister, children. Though these ministers, council of ministers, are only liable to the prime minister, because prime minister is the head and prime minister is the only person who elects them. But if you remember, on the advice of the prime minister, in recommendation with the president, these council of ministers are being elected. So obviously they have to be very careful, these council of ministers, for their conduct, and obviously they are liable to for their conducts to the president as well, children. Next, every minister is obliged to answer questions pertaining to the department. Now, whatever questions is being raised, so they have to be ready, right, for those questions, children, these minister, because they are the ones who have done, and obviously the president may ask the questions from them, the opposition party may raise the questions, and they have to satisfy them. And obviously what welfare they are doing, they need to satisfy first these members and later on the public, children. I hope you people have understood. Now, control of parliament over executive. Now, children, everything we have now understood. We are coming to the last part now of this chapter, children, and here we again do those things which we have already did in parliament chapter. Now, how parliament control its executive, children? Parliament is a legislative body, everyone knows. Now, these legislative body have to control its ministers as well, children. Otherwise the ministers can do the arbitrary thing, whatever they do, right, children? So this needs to be stopped by the parliament. So parliament have, may have earlier also I've already explained you, the parliament have devised the methods to control them. This is known as the motion, right? These are called motions. With the help of motions, the parliament can control the executives. That means the parliament can control the members of the house. Now, how? Again, I repeat. Now, to put to minister questions which should be properly answered, the very first thing, parliament needs to be, raising the questions from the ministers, right? Then moving in adjournment motion. If adjournment motion means if something of public importance may turns up, children, then parliament have to, set aside its present task, and they have to take up immediately the matter related to public importance, children. Or they can adjourn the house if they simply find what, children? The lack of discipline, right? Next, moving censure motion. The censure motion can also pass against the individual minister, right? And if it is passed, that individual minister has to leave the house, children. This is called censure motion, right? Then moving a no confidence motion, and if they are not happy, like opposition party, they are the part of parliament as well, so they can very easily pass the no confidence motion. So all these devices, these motions really help the parliament out in maintaining the strong disciplined network, right? That means parliament really want an efficient working. where these members have to work for the public have voted them, children, obviously, and public have hopes with them, right, children? In fact, public have hopes also, and they really expect a lot from these ministers, children, right? So these ministers have to be very, very careful regarding their conducts. Now parliament have to, control them so that they won't move beyond their limits. So for that, the parliament have the motions, right? And motions I've already explained you in the previous chapter, and still also I've explained you that maybe the parliament can raise questions, the parliament can pass adjournment motion, children, censure motion, and the no confidence motion. So this way we have come to the end of this chapter, children. So this way we have completed this chapter. So I hope you will have understood. If you have not understood, children, just refer to the previous videos, complete all the assignments, children. In the meantime, if I have more videos regarding this, I'll prepare more. Otherwise, I'll start with the new chapter, children. So till then, pay attention to these videos. Thank you.